Here we will see Introduction to MVC Architecture. MVC stands for Model View Controller, which is not a programming language, but it is a design pattern which is an open source software used to develop dynamic websites and applications on the .NET framework by combining the features of MVC. ASP.NET MVC framework provides an alternative to the ASP.NET Webform pattern for creating MVC-based web applications. ASP.NET MVC framework is a lightweight, highly testable presentation framework that is integrated with the existing ASP.NET features such as master pages, membership-based authentication. The MVC framework is defined in the system.web.mvc namespace, and it is a fundamental supported part of system.web namespace. The Model View Controller architectural pattern separates an application into three main components: model, view, and controller. Each architectural component is built to handle specific development aspects of an application. It isolates the business logic and presentation layer from each other. It was traditionally used for desktop graphical user interfaces, but nowadays MVC is one of the most frequently used industry standard web development framework to create scalable and extensible projects. It is also used for designing mobile apps. Some of the features of ASP.NET MVC architectures are simultaneous development. Since MVC decouples the several components of an application, developers can work on separate components without influencing or abstracting one another. Reusability. Since the view controls how the data is displayed to the user, the same view for an application can be refactored for another with different data. Improved extendability. Because the components are not interdependent, changing one does not affect the others. Manages large-size web apps. In MVC, web application logic is easy to divide and organize into large-scale applications. The big advantage of using such code practice is that it helps to find specific portion of code quickly and allows us to add new functionality with ease. Easy modifications. MVC allows easy modifications of entire application. Adding or upgrading the new type of views is simplified in MVC pattern. So, if there are any changes in certain sections of the application, then it will never affect the entire architecture. Fast development. As there is dividing of the code among three levels, one developer can work on a view section while another can work on any other section, like controllers simultaneously. This allows for easy implementation of business logic and the faster development of the project. Low maintenance. MVC gives the developer an outline of how to arrange their ideas into actual code and is also a great tool to help limit code duplication and allow easy maintenance of the application. Supports TDD, that is test driven development. MVC simplifies the testing process and it makes it easier to debug large scale applications as multiple layers are structurally defined and properly written in the application. Multiple views. In MVC, developing different view components for your model component is easily achievable. It empowers developers to develop different view components, thus limiting code duplication as it separates data and business logic. SEO friendly, that is search engine optimization. MVC supports the development of SEO friendly web applications. To generate more visits from a particular application, MVC provides an easy way to develop SEO friendly RESTful URLs. Different advantages of ASP.NET MVC architectures are: it makes it easier to manage complexity by dividing an application into the model, view, and controller. It does not use view state or server-based forms. This makes the MVC framework ideal for developers who want full control over the behavior of an application. It uses a front controller pattern that processes web application requests through a single controller. This enables you to design an application that supports a rich routing infrastructure. It provides better support for test-driven development. It works well for web applications that are supported by the large teams of developers and web designers who need a high degree of control over the application behavior. Different disadvantages of ASP.NET MVC architectures are: reading, changing and unit testing this model is difficult because there is no separate component available to handle UI. The MVC architecture offers no formal validation support, so the validation explicitly need to be done. It may result in an inefficient data processing process because it makes the implementation logic a bit complex. Handling MVC is difficult to use without today's user interface. Most of the popular UI frameworks have their own implementation architecture that can't be embedded with MVC. Programmers should be familiar with multiple technologies. A lot of code need to be maintained in controllers. Nearly for every different action for the page, we need to declare individual action methods. And MVC is not suitable for all types of applications. It does not support small applications.